Imagine your house has a cleaning crew. Every day, they come in, sweep out the garbage, break down the broken furniture, they clear out anything that's damaged or dysfunctional, and leave everything pristine and ready for the next day. Now imagine that cleaning crew stops showing up. Not dramatically, not all at once. Gradually. First, they come every other day. Then twice a week. Then once a week. Then barely at all. Meanwhile, the garbage keeps accumulating. The broken furniture piles up. The house becomes progressively more cluttered, more dysfunctional, more difficult to live in. That is exactly what is happening inside every cell of your body after 50. Your cells have a built-in cleaning system. Scientists call it autophagy, from the Greek words for self and eating. It is one of the most fundamental biological processes. In 2016, the Nobel Prize in Physiology or Medicine was awarded to Japanese cell biologist Yoshinori Ohsumi for his discovery of its mechanisms. Autophagy breaks down and recycles damaged components, misfolded proteins and damaged mitochondria. Autophagy dissolves them. It is your cell's recycling plant and immune defense. And after 50, it shuts down, dramatically, measurably. But here's the part that changes everything. Autophagy is a regulated process that can be meaningfully reactivated. MIT researchers have identified molecular switches that turn it on. Understanding those switches is the key to reactivating your cellular cleaning crew. Stay with me, because this video may fundamentally change how you think about aging at the cellular level. To understand why autophagy matters so profoundly, we need to understand what it actually does inside a cell. Every cell in your body is constantly producing proteins, thousands of different proteins, each with a specific shape that determines its function. The shape is everything. A protein with the right shape performs its biological role perfectly. A protein with a distorted or misfolded shape not only fails to perform its function, it actively causes damage. Protein misfolding happens continuously. Heat stress, oxidative damage, radiation, all of these cause proteins to lose their proper shape. In a healthy cell with active autophagy, misfolded proteins are rapidly identified, tagged for destruction, and broken down. They are recycled into amino acids to build new, properly folded proteins. When autophagy is inactive, misfolded proteins accumulate. They begin to aggregate, clumping together into larger and larger complexes. And these protein aggregates are toxic. They physically interfere with cellular function and trigger inflammatory responses. In the brain, they form characteristic plaques and tangles. The amyloid beta plaques of Alzheimer's and the alpha-synuclein aggregates of Parkinson's are protein aggregates. The tau tangles found in multiple forms of dementia are all consequences of autophagy failure. It's the cellular cleaning crew not showing up to break down misfolded proteins before they can aggregate into toxic clumps. A landmark study in Science found that restoring autophagy in aging mouse models produced dramatic reductions in amyloid beta and tau. Researchers described it as one of the most powerful interventions tested for reducing the molecular hallmarks of Alzheimer's pathology. But autophagy's role extends further. Mitophagy is a specific form targeting mitochondria to clear them before they drive oxidative aging. In a young cell, damaged mitochondria are rapidly cleared and replaced. The mitochondrial population stays young and functional. In an aging cell, damaged mitochondria accumulate. They produce energy inefficiently, creating far more oxidative byproduct. This creates a vicious cycle of DNA and protein damage. This is the primary mechanism driving dysfunction that CoQ10 addresses. CoQ10 provides better electron transport, but mitophagy addresses a deeper level, clearing the damaged mitochondria that CoQ10 cannot rescue. Together, they address mitochondrial health from two different but complementary angles. The third critical function is regulating cellular senescence. Autophagy degrades the toxic inflammatory cocktail that senescent cells release. When autophagy is active, it limits inflammatory damage. When it declines, senescent cell, CESP, accumulates unchecked. Inflammaging accelerates. Every mechanism in the series that depends on inflammation control becomes less effective. Now, let's understand why autophagy declines so dramatically after 50. Because the mechanisms are specific and addressable. The primary regulator of autophagy in mammalian cells is a protein complex called mTOR, mechanistic target of rapamycin. mTOR is essentially the master switch between two cellular states. When mTOR is active, cells are in growth mode. They are building new proteins, growing and accumulating resources. Autophagy is suppressed because you don't want to break down components while building. When mTOR is inactive, cells shift into maintenance and repair mode. Autophagy is activated. The cleaning crew comes in. This mTOR switch evolved for an environment where periods of plentiful food alternated with periods of scarcity and cellular repair. Modern life has broken this cycle. In the typical lifestyle of an adult over 50, food is continuously available. mTOR stays chronically active. Autophagy stays chronically suppressed. The cleaning crew never gets called in. But dietary pattern is only one mechanism. The second is NAD+ decline. The SIRT-T1 sirtuin is a primary activator of autophagy. When NAD+ declines, SIRT-T1 activity falls, BCLIN1 is less well regulated, and autophagy initiation becomes less efficient. The third mechanism is AMPK decline. AMPK is the cell's energy sensor. When cellular energy is low, AMPK activates. It both stimulates autophagy initiation and inhibits mTOR, removing the primary brake on the autophagy process simultaneously. After 50, AMPK sensitivity declines. With less AMPK activation, autophagy loses one of its most important regulatory stimuli. The fourth mechanism is the accumulation of autophagy inhibitors like Rubicon and P62, which suppress the process in dysfunctional states. Research has shown that reducing these inhibitors produces dramatic restoration of autophagy activity, sometimes to levels seen in young tissue. Understanding these four mechanisms, mTOR, NAD+, AMPK, and inhibitors, is the foundation for understanding the reactivation protocol. Before we get to the protocol, I want to spend a few minutes making the consequences of autophagy failure in the brain very concrete, because understanding what is actually accumulating inside your brain cells right now is the most powerful motivation for the interventions that follow. The brain is the organ most dependent on autophagy, for two specific reasons. First, neurons are postmitotic. Unlike most cells in your body, which can divide and be replaced when they accumulate too much damage, neurons generally do not divide after early development. The neurons you have are largely the neurons you will have for life. This means that the quality control provided by autophagy is particularly critical for neurons, because there is no cell division to dilute accumulated damage. Every misfolded protein that autophagy fails to clear stays in that neuron. Every damaged mitochondrion that autophagy fails to remove continues producing oxidative damage in that neuron for decades. Second, neurons are extraordinarily metabolically active. They consume more energy per gram than virtually any other cell type. This high metabolic activity produces proportionally more protein misfolding, more mitochondrial damage, and more cellular debris than lower activity cell types. The cleaning crew needs to be working harder in neurons than anywhere else, and when it declines, the consequences accumulate faster. The specific toxic debris that accumulates in aging neurons with declining autophagy has been characterized in detail by research published in Nature Neuroscience and Cell. Lipofuscin, a complex mixture of oxidized proteins and lipids that cannot be broken down by normal cellular degradation pathways, accumulates in neurons throughout life, but its accumulation accelerates dramatically when autophagy declines after 50. Lipofuscin accumulation is directly associated with reduced neuronal function and increased vulnerability to cell death. It is visible in aged neurons as the characteristic age pigment that researchers have observed for over a century, now understood to be the direct result of autophagy failure. Damaged mitochondria, which autophagy would normally clear, accumulate in aging neurons, producing a progressively more toxic oxidative environment. Research has shown that neurons in the brains of adults over 70 contain significantly higher proportions of damaged, dysfunctional mitochondria than younger brains, a direct consequence of declining mitophagy across the preceding decades. And the aggregated proteins, amyloid beta, tau, alpha-synuclein, whose accumulation defines the pathology of Alzheimer's and Parkinson's disease. Research is increasingly clear that these aggregates are not simply the primary cause of these diseases, they are, at least in part, consequences of autophagy failure. The cellular cleaning system that would have cleared these proteins in a younger brain is no longer keeping pace with their production. This is the molecular basis of the concern that motivates this video. Every year that autophagy remains suppressed, in the typical adult over 50 whose lifestyle provides none of the natural triggers for autophagy activation, this debris accumulates further. The cleaning debt grows larger, and clearing it becomes progressively more challenging. The good news, and it is genuinely good news, is that research shows autophagy can be meaningfully reactivated at any age. The machinery is still there. It just needs the right triggers. The autophagy reactivation protocol has three components: dietary timing, specific compounds, and exercise. Each addresses a different regulatory mechanism. Together, they create a powerful and synergistic autophagy stimulus. Component 1, and the most powerful single autophagy trigger available, is time-restricted eating. We briefly mentioned this in the inflammation video, but now I want to explain the autophagy mechanism specifically, because it is the primary reason that time-restricted eating has attracted such intense research interest. When you fast, when you go an extended period without consuming calories, several things happen simultaneously that converge on autophagy activation. Blood glucose falls, insulin drops, mTOR becomes less active as amino acid and energy signals diminish. AMPK activates as cellular energy status declines. And the combination of reduced mTOR and elevated AMPK is the most powerful stimulus for autophagy. Research published in Cell Metabolism has shown that meaningful autophagy activation begins after approximately 12 to 16 hours of fasting in humans. The peak of autophagy activation appears to occur around 18 to 24 hours of fasting, which is why extended fasting produces such dramatic effects. But you do not need to do 24-hour fasts to meaningfully activate autophagy. The research shows that even a consistent 14 to 16-hour overnight fast produces meaningful autophagy activation on a daily basis. For adults over 50, the most practical implementation is finishing dinner by 7 p.m. and not eating again until 9 or 10 a.m. This produces a 14 to 15-hour fasting window that includes your sleep period, meaning you are fasting when you are not experiencing hunger. The morning electrolyte solution, water with salt and cream of tartar, does not break a fast in the autophagy sense. It contains no calories, no protein, no carbohydrates. You can consume it during your fasting window without interrupting autophagy activation. Black coffee, which you are already consuming as part of the morning protocol, also does not break autophagy. It may actually enhance it through its effects on AMPK. This is a critical practical point. The morning protocol you have already built is entirely compatible with a fasting window if you delay your first meal until 10 a.m. Component 2. Specific compounds with research-backed autophagy activating effects. The first compound is spermidine. A study in Nature Medicine found that spermidine supplementation extended lifespan and produced significant autophagy activation. A human trial found that spermidine supplementation in older adults with subjective cognitive decline produced significant memory improvements. The second compound is urolithin A. It is produced in the gut when bacteria metabolize compounds found in pomegranates and walnuts. It has attracted attention for its potent mitophagy activating effects, specifically targeting the removal of damaged mitochondria. A clinical trial found that urolithin A supplementation in adults over 65 significantly improved muscle mitochondrial function. The third compound is berberine, an alkaloid found in plants. Its relevance comes from its potent AMPK activation. Component 3. Exercise as an autophagy activator. Acute aerobic exercise is one of the most powerful triggers. For adults over 50, the research supports Zone 2 cardio, sustained aerobic activity where you can speak but breathe harder. 20 to 30 minutes of Zone 2 cardio 3 to 4 times per week produces measurable autophagy activation. The complete autophagy protocol daily schedule looks like this. Upon waking, morning electrolyte solution and lion's mane turmeric coffee. First meal ideally at 9 to 10 a.m. Take spermidine 1 mg and berberine 500 mg. Midday, urolithin a 500 mg. 3 to 4 times per week, 25 to 30 minutes of Zone 2 cardio. 13 videos, 13 mechanisms. And with autophagy, we have now reached what I believe is the deepest and most fundamental layer of the biological system. Let me show you why autophagy is so profoundly connected to everything that came before it. The BDNF protocol from video 1 works better when the neurons producing and responding to BDNF are free of the protein aggregates. Clean neurons respond to BDNF more effectively than toxic burdened ones. Magnesium L-threonate from video 2 works better when synaptic machinery is free of damaged proteins. NMDA receptors function more efficiently when the synaptic space is clear. The liver detoxification from video 3 is supported by autophagy. Autophagy clears damaged hepatocytes and maintains liver cell quality. These and the detoxification pathways are complementary cellular maintenance systems. The CoQ10 from video 4 and the mitophagy component of autophagy address mitochondrial health from 2 angles. CoQ10 optimizes the mitochondria that remain, while mitophagy clears the ones that are beyond optimization. Deep sleep from video 5 is when autophagy is most active in brain tissue. During the same slow-wave sleep periods when lymphatic clearance runs. The gut microbiome from video 6, particularly the Akkermansia and Bifidobacterium species, produces short-chain fatty acids that directly stimulate autophagy. The NAD+ from video 11 is upstream of autophagy through SIRT-T1 activation. Higher NAD+ means more SIRT-T1 activity, means more autophagy activation. Reducing senescence reduces the brakes on autophagy. Every single previous video connects to autophagy, and autophagy connects back to every previous video. You have now built a system that addresses aging from the molecular level all the way to the social level, from the NAD+ that fuels your cellular machinery to the relationships that signal safety to your nervous system, from autophagy to deep sleep. Implement time-restricted eating as finish dinner by 7 p.m. and delay your first meal the next morning until 9 or 10 a.m. Add berberine at 500 mg with your first meal. Add spermidine if your budget allows. It is an exciting natural autophagy activator. Increase the intensity of your weekly walks, turning them into Zone 2 cardio sessions that meaningfully elevate your heart rate for 25 minutes. Coming up next week, we are going into the topic of bone health after 50. It's a surprising find in aging science. Subscribe now, turn on notifications. Thank you for 13 videos. Stay sharp, stay clean, stay vital. I will see you next week.